What is up, Van Dam fam? Are you ready for another one of these? We shall soon find out. Doesn't matter what you're looking at, there's other angles to see it from. That's always going to be the case. Accept it, live with it, and make that one of your guidelines to make decisions off of. You don't even have to know what all the other angles are. You just have to understand that they do exist. If you're one of these people that thinks their way is the only way to see anything, well, there's no talking to you then because you're unreasonable. In fact, you are the only one that can see anything from exactly where you're at. All right? I'm not just talking about your eyes. I'm also talking about visualizing, conceptualizing, all that. You understand? It's just a fact. Everyone else is looking at it from a different angle, so just keep that in mind. Even yourself, like in the cycle of life, you're able to look at things from a different angle. Why? Because you have seen more of the bigger picture. There's always a bigger picture. There's always more to the story. And when you're young, you haven't experienced enough to really understand that. So what are you going to do? You're going to look at everything out of proportion. When I was in high school, I thought I was supposed to be getting laid, like I thought the other kids were. And I bet I thought 51 sounded like a grandpa. Now I'm 51. I think 75 sounds like a grandpa. And imagining kids in high school fucking each other, crows. It's disgusting. You don't know that when you're younger because you haven't seen enough of the bigger picture. That's an example. I could say that all my evil ex wanted to do was fight all the time, no matter what. She was miserable. There was no making her happy. Another angle on that is we were both stuck in a mismatch. I know that now, looking at it from a different angle, because now I have Zen. No arguments, no drama, no stress. I have the life that I always wanted, and I have the proper match, okay? Now, I know a lot of people are stuck in situations it's not easy to get out of, and you make the most of it, okay? Well, how do you do that? Some of my peers would say, man, my wife is such a bitch. I think she hates me. Well, another angle to look at that is you ruined her life by marrying her, having kids with her, and then being a whore on the road. But then you choose which virtues are best represented by you, don't you? If you say, well, I would never leave her, that's loyal on your own terms. It's not honest, it's not faithful in a traditional sense, but you do have control over which virtues you want to adopt. But let's just look at it for what it is and not be afraid to talk about it. Because that's what we do here, all right? I sat on an airplane next to this old guy one time, and he was saying he couldn't wait till we land because his knee was killing him. The guy was a doctor. I said, you could write yourself a prescription for some Vicodin, and then maybe that knee wouldn't hurt you as bad. Oh, no, he said. I would never do that. I've seen too many people get addicted to that. Okay. Another angle to look at that could be, maybe you're one of the 80% of people that use drugs regularly that don't have any substance abuse issues. Maybe, but that's totally on him, his decision, In 2001, I went to Thailand and I did this movie, Black Mask 2. Awesome opportunity for me. ECW was closing down, and this was kind of something that I had in between. I did go back and do the last pay-per-view after this movie, And then I also went to the WWE later that year in 2001. While I was in Black Mask 2, there was some other wrestlers and fighters, big dudes. This guy, Tiny Lister Jr., was one of the actors that was hired. It was a really, really weird movie. Being green at acting like I was in 2001, I didn't have as easy of a time understanding the character from the script. We're in Thailand, and there was like a Mandarin Chinese crew that was directing, I think, and a Cantonese crew that was maybe doing the the fight directing, I believe, and French people that wrote the script. So anyway, it was pretty screwy. And even when I watch the movie now, I don't understand it or our characters. Now, Tiny was a more experienced actor, obviously. You've seen him in a lot of stuff. Zeus, for goodness sakes, right? When I think about what it was like working with them, I think about, you know, it was really dirty in Bangkok too, all right? We had to get tetanus shots. We couldn't eat anything that had already been opened. It had to be prepackaged, unopened, unless we were in like a really nice restaurant or something. Couldn't drink water out of the faucet, stuff like that. Tiny was complaining a lot the whole time. I remember the first time we had catering during the day while we were filming, and he was saying, "Look at that, we can't eat that. Look at that," which he was right. You know, we couldn't eat it, and it was gross. I was looking at it trying to find, you know, like something I could eat. Like, ooh, they said not to eat that fruit. Maybe I could eat it, but there's flies all over it. It was pretty gross. One funny thing that he said that I'll never forget, he said, "My mama couldn't make me eat that food." A little later, he was telling the production assistant that the hotel needs to be demolished, and that it was below standards. Another good point. You know, he said in the bathroom, you don't want to see carpet. You don't want to see that. You want to see tile. That way you can disinfect it in between, and you know that it's clean. That made sense, you know. One time we were in the trailer, a bunch of us guys, in between shots, and I'm talking about my career at that time, you know. I'm talking to Andrew Bernarski was there, Tyler Main, both friends of mine. What was the other dude's name? Man, there was a few people that were over 7 feet tall. It was a really big guy part, for the most part. But anyway, we're in the trailer, and they were asking about wrestling, and I was just telling them at the time, yeah, ECW doesn't look like it's going to last. I was really hoping to stick it out there. I didn't really want to go anywhere else, but I do have offers. You know, WWE and WCW have both extended their offers to me, so I can go there. But man, my heart's really in ECW. I prefer that style. Tiny came in nasty, like, "I don't know nothing about no ECW. All I know is that when Hulk Hogan walk in the room, people drop to their knees. To their knees. When Hulk Hogan walk in the room, men, grown men, drop to their knees. That's all I know about wrestling." So I was thinking, wow, I wonder why he's being a dick, you know? I'm not going to argue with that. Hulk Hogan is the man in my book. You know, he's the one that I watched growing up that inspired everybody from my generation. I love Hulk Hogan. And he's probably the most recognized person in the world. He's got to be up there. Anyway, not knocking the value on him. But I didn't know, you know, why, you know, whatever. Like, I guess Tiny didn't want to, doesn't know ECW, whatever. I don't care. Didn't think that much about it. I just knew that he was trying to interject himself in a rude way. Now looking back at it though, I talked to one of the guys at Gold's Gym like a year or two after the movie, and he said, "Man, you were talking about saying that WWE and WCW wanted you. Man, we thought you were full of shit." Why would I say that if it wasn't true? No, I was just explaining. I was in that position. No, man, hey, I started watching you afterwards. Like, holy shit, you really are the whole fucking show. So then I looked at it different. It probably looked like I was being braggadocious, right? And Tiny probably heard that, thought I was bragging, and was like, "You ain't Hulk Hogan," which I'm not, which is fine. Okay. The set was kind of chaotic, you know. We are at this, I don't know if it's a train yard, but all the box cars are stacked up on top of each other, 4, 5 high. It's raining, it's gross. A big python went through the set. An elephant ran loose on the set one time, and the guy had to catch the elephant by driving the back of a hammer into the skull of the elephant and then steered him like that in front of everybody. Everyone's freaked out. Especially, I would imagine, people that are more experienced. For me, I was happy as hell to be part of this action movie, you know, trying to make the most of it, thinking this is an awesome thing to put on my resume. I'm working with Wu Ping, the guy that invented the whole cable effects in the Matrix. Anyway, I got this scene, and Tiny and I are working together. We just robbed something, so the back doors of a van are open. We're gonna run. He jumps in, I jump in, and they tell me to look both ways to make sure the coast is clear before I shut the doors, and they're gonna take off. Okay, but you're gonna wait till I shut the doors before you take off, right? Because otherwise I'm gonna fall in this fucking mud puddle. The guy in the walkie-talkie, yeah. Translating to the driver, look both ways, shut door, and then drive. Okay. So here we go. Action. Run in there. Boom, boom. He jumps in. Tiny. I go in behind him. I look to the left. They hit the gas. Boom. I face first in the mud puddle. Push. Tiny came out pissed, screaming, stop everything. And he's screaming at everybody, you know, how unsafe it is, you know. One camera or lighting guy fell from like 4 boxcars up, and just a little while before we were filming, and we all are wondering if he's dead or not. Like, he might be dead. They said it sounded like he cracked his skull. So it's kind of a dangerous place to work. And Tiny is showing he's not happy. He's complaining. After this, he's screaming, and he's telling me, "You can't let them stand for that. You let them know, man. You could have got hurt." And, you know, the energy just took me over. I'm like, "Yeah, hey, you said you were going to wait until I shut the doors." And I caught myself. I was like, "This ain't me." You know, like, I'm influenced. His energy is so infectious. It's like taking over me. And I was pissed because I knew that there was a good chance that if they didn't wait till I shut the doors, I was going to fall in the puddle, you know. But Tiny wanted to make it like a big meeting, like call everyone around, talk about how unsafe all the things are, how we should all consider, you know, like going home or something. Well, a few days later, we did go home because we had like 5 days off, and then we came back to film for 2 or 3 more weeks. During that break, a lot of us went home. Those of us who had families, some of the people stayed there in Bangkok, did whatever Bangkok has to offer in the red light district. Pat pong, different stories. Probably not for here. We all came back. Tiny didn't come back. He decided he was done. I didn't live up to his standards. And he was replaced with another actor. When I saw the movie, which I've probably seen it at least twice, I hear Tiny's voice in one of the audio tracks they didn't take out. Even though he's not in the movie, he's completely replaced. All right? If somebody asks, did I enjoy working with him? Fuck no. Fuck no. I mean, I thought he was a dick. Now, looking at it with more life experience and from the angle that I'm at now, I'm sure he was promised a lot more than he received. You know? I'm sure that he was used to standards being a lot higher. You know? He wasn't able to eat. I don't know what he was promised, but he was a much bigger star in the fucking world of acting and movies. And really, I was just young and happy to be there. Kind of a lot like the Aruba story I had with Hawk. Ego. If you haven't seen it, check it out. Nothing against Tiny now. Unfortunately, that was my only experience with him. And first impressions do last a lifetime. But now, overall, I see everything from a different angle than I used to. And who knows, maybe you guys will learn to do the same. If not, then, you're unreasonable.